morning, good evening, and good afternoon to wherever you may be. Today, I am going to be showing you how I do my eyebrows. As you can see, I have scars in my eyebrows and what I do to conceal them, you know. Before we begin, I just want you to know that I'm gonna go into a little to depth of how I got my eyebrows. It's a really tragic story. But when I was younger, when I was like 3 years old, my mom and I got in a car accident, in which I got some glass pieces into my eyebrow, into my forehead. So ever since I was younger, I always like had bangs. But then when I discovered the beauty of makeup and what makeup can do, I started filling out my eyebrows ever since I was like a sophomore, like a junior, sophomore in high school. I started filling in my eyebrows, and I would like it because I could conceal a little bit of the scars, you know, because everybody would always ask me, what happened to your eyebrows? So that way I wouldn't always have to be telling the story. I started doing my eyebrows. So I hope that you enjoy this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want to see how my eyebrow routine is, then stay tuned. Today I'm going to be using the Bella Pierre Cosmetics Deep Put Brow Gel, and this is in licorice. Then we're going to go ahead, and we're also going to be using the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Kit, and this is in ash brown. We're going to also be using the Morphe brush. Doesn't have a number, just a Morphe double-ended brush with the spoolie and then the angled right here. And we're also going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills. I've used this brush so much that it doesn't even have a number on it. I think it's number 18, and this is a more fine thing right here, more fine. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, and I always begin my eyebrows with combing them out first, plucking out any like little hairs that I may have, and I use a mirror, a bigger mirror, to kind of comb them through. So let me go ahead and get my little baggie that has all my little utensils. Okay, so with my Revlon tweezers, I'm going to be just plucking out any little hairs that don't belong in my eyebrow shape. I usually stay true to my eyebrow shape just to mess up my eyebrows. Okay, so I'm going to go back in with my little spoolie, comb through. And I'm going to be taking the Dipbrow, and I'm going to be dipping it generously in the, I'm going to be dipping the brush generously in the pomade. And I'm just going to go ahead and just let that be kind of really fine. I'm going to start out by, so you guys see I have scars right here, and then I have one right here. And that's why I use the Dipbrow. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my brush and start from half of my eyebrow, and I'm just going to go up. I'm going to start from the bottom. I feel like it's always easier to start from the bottom. Little by little, I start trying to trace out the shape of the eyebrow, and I follow the shape of my natural brow. I try not to overdraw it, I try really to like keep the natural shape, and then I begin to fill in those sparse areas. Okay, so I kind of create that little shape. I'm gonna go ahead and do also the other one so you guys can see how I fill it in when I have especially my sparse one. I feel like this one has the sparseness in the middle and this one has it more towards the front, but we haven't gotten there yet. So you guys are gonna see really towards the middle how I cover that sparseness. Again, like I said, I try to follow where the natural shape of my eyebrow would be, just because it kind of does distort my shape a little bit, my scars. So I am going to just be going where it would be. So I take it from all the way in the bottom, and I do guide myself by, sometimes I will guide myself by like going like this. It should be really out here, but I usually do use this little area of my nose to kind of go up. And that's my natural brow should be. And I try to really fill that area in, especially in this eyebrow. I will really start going in that area. Okay. So try creating that shape. To clean it up, we are going to be using the LA Girl Pro and Conceal, and this is in creamy beige, but we're not going to conceal yet. I'm just showing you. So I'm going to go again in with my Dipbrow, and once I usually start by shading it in really lightly, and then I'll start going in darker and darker until I get to the full darkness that I want for my brows. So I guess you can say I'm going to go in for my second round of darkness, and I bring the mirror a little bit farther, that way I can kind of see where it needs to be really, really dark. That way I don't, because when you bring it closer, it'll just show you like it'll show you the areas more, I guess you can say, lighter, and then when you go farther, it'll show them to you like where you truly really need to go in with your brush and fill in. So right now, like when I go closer, I see that this area needs to be filled in, but I also see that this area needs to fill in. When I bring it a little farther, I see that this area is the one that needs a little bit more attention. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in there first and fill it in. And yo, I'm gonna show you guys how I do the strokes. I really do the strokes like so, like I'm going super light, like super light-handed. Just that's if you want a really soft brow. But I also feel that when you go in really soft-handed, you really do control how much pigment or how much dense your eye look or your eyeshadow. The only thing I don't go in easy with is with foundation. That I hammer that in because I like full coverage. But everything else, I feel like you really need to have a light hand and a steady hand. That's why I ate something right now. I was shaking a little bit, but just go in with a lighter hand. That way you don't ruin your look, because sometimes when you go in with the hammering it in, might mess up, and then it's easier to take it off when it's really lightly on than when it is more darkly drawn in. Okay. So I really, honestly, you guys are gonna laugh, but I really do go in like stroke by stroke to kind of create those hair-like, to create that hair-like look. So I'm gonna go in literally, I take the pointier end and I face that one down, and I flick it up, kind of like flick. So I'm gonna start flicking. And kind of create those hair-like strokes. And again with this side. And then with this side, so it'll, because you see how I have a scar right here? This side, I do those strokes, but then I start trying to blend it in into my side. Since I don't have no hair, I really need to create a full base there. So I really like, it's like painting it in. So I start flicking up, but then I start flicking to the side to like create that effect of seeming like I have hair there, but I really don't have any hair there. I'm gonna go in on this side again, and I'm gonna just continue filling in more. And before I go ahead and conceal, I'm just gonna, with the spoolie side, I'm just gonna go ahead and comb that out. I comb from down up, and then I'll start combing towards the outside. And now my favorite part is the concealer. Okay, so I see that this eyebrow is a little bit more thicker than this one. So I am gonna go ahead and draw a little bit more space on the top. And then I always squeeze out. I like this one because this has like a brush in it. It makes it really easy to apply your concealer. But I always go ahead and I put out some product, like so. I take the back of my hand to kind of control that product, and I put it on the back of my hand. And then with little by little, I start to clean. I always start the bottom of my eyebrows. I start to clean off that brow and kind of give it that perfect shape. And don't sweat it if you get some on your eyebrow. You're gonna go ahead and blend that out anyway, and then I'm gonna do my last step. I'll show you what I do last with my eyebrow routine. And then I go on the top, and I literally like box it in. I box in my eyebrow. It helps. Give it a cuticle. And I connect it, and I always make this like little X at the bottom, just to kind of like have that there. I also try not to drag it as much down, because I don't want to have like a small room to work with eyeshadow, unless I really am going for just a dramatic brow and that's it, and like some light eyeshadow, then I'll do a more dramatic brow. But usually I'll try to like keep the tail shorter, not so long, like where it was just like your eye or something. Okay, so my final step before I do the rest of my makeup is I take my Wet n Wild kit, and I go in with this more thicker angled brush. I take the darkest color, just off the excess, and I fill in just the outer half of my eyebrow. I fill it in to create a more full look. The same I'm gonna do with the other one. This side. I fill in to create that more full look. As I said, don't even worry about it if you got a little bit of concealer on your brow. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that anyway. And with the lighter shade, I learned this from a Patrick Star video, that this lighter shade is actually for the front part of your eyebrow. That way it can look more like softer in the front and like darker on the end. So I go ahead and I take the same color, and I take a little bit less just off the excess. And with this one, I start like if I was brushing it up, and then I blend it into the rest of the eyebrow. Same. Up. And I blend it in. And that's just to create kind of that feathered look. And I brush it out. Brush out my brow. And I blend the concealer. of course the blending will continue with when I do my foundation, but I blend out my concealer. I'll do like a 5-minute like makeup tutorial, and I'll show you how I do my eyebrows when I literally am not going to be glam. Today I am going to just a little bit more like, I'm going to do glam face, but I blend it out. Like I said, when I do my eyeshadows and my foundation, I am going to go ahead and blend this out more. But right now, just for video purposes, it's not going to be so blended. And I blend up. Down is your eyebrow, so go ahead and I blend this up. So let me just go ahead and finish the rest of my face, and then we'll go ahead and talk about my very last detail for my eyebrows. Okay, so this wraps up this video. Let me just go ahead and show you my last step before we end. So my very last step before teen. So I take this product here. It's the Great Lash of Maybelline. It's the clear gel, and the reason why I take this is because after powdering, highlighter, setting spray, everything, my brows look kind of gunky. So and foundation and everything that I do to my makeup, my eyebrows look kind of gunky. So I just take a little bit of this, and this is usually my last step, just to make them nice and crisp. I take them and I just apply it like if it were a mascara. So I apply that, and also to kind of apply them down and set them in place. Yeah, and it kind of gives like that nice little highlighted look to them. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and that's all Mexiglam101. And then on Twitter, I am just Mexiglam. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice and blessed day. Thank you.